So on this episode, I want to show you guys the 4 stages that every single sales rep should always consciously be going through. See, sales is an internal game before it's an external game. So when I started off in sales, first sales trainer, first sales leader said, Daniel, it's just a freaking contact sport. Just reach out to, hundreds of people, knock on 100 doors. Somebody's bound to say yes. And then as the online space started to come in, you had these sales trainers coming online. You had people saying, well, you know what? It's just a skills game. It doesn't matter about the content. You just got to be so skilled that just talk to less people and just be great. And I said, what a dumb message. It's a both game. It's a contact game and it's a skills game. It's a work ethic game and it's a freaking skills game. Because if you're so freaking good, but you have nobody to talk to, it doesn't matter how good you are at closing or asking questions. Now, if you're talking to a lot of people and you shit the bed inside of the skills game, then you won't close nobody. So you'll just be the dumb workhorse and the factory worker, and then sales would be useless. So I want you to write this down. Every single sales rep will go through all these stages, starting off with number 1, and you can't cheat any of these, which is number 1, working your numbers inside of sales. That's the amount of belly-to-belly interaction that you have throughout the day. The door knocking, the cold calling, the contacts, the outreach. This is working your numbers. So let's just say you start off inside of sales and you have no building blocks, right? Meaning that you've never been inside of sales before. You've never had a sales job before. This is your first sales gig. You're 26 years old. You start, selling services, marketing services over a telephone to businesses. And you've never even been in sports before. So you bring in none of these building blocks inside of sales. Okay, so here's the situation. You come in, every 100 people that you call, one person says yes. One person says, yes, I'll do business with you. You make a $50 commission, okay? So those are your numbers. By the way, every single company is going to say this is the average and that you are different than every single person inside of your business. You're different than any single sales rep. Why? Because you come in with a different mentality, a different building block, a different skill set. That is your number. So as you reach out after the first week, you're not going to say, when I ask you, what are your numbers? You have to master your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You're not going to say, well, it depends. It doesn't depend. And if you never close a deal in the last 7 days or the last month, Depends is a baby diapers brand name. You find the average based on your current skill set right now. So out of the 1,000 people that you talked to in the last month, out of the 100 people that you talked to in the last week, what are your numbers? How many people say yes to a book meeting? How many deals close out of that book meeting? So let's say you contact 100 people, 20 people say, I want to see the product, and every 20 people you present to, one person says yes. That's your freaking numbers. Your numbers is different than Carrie. Your number is different than Bob. Your number is different than Sally. You figure out right now. I would enforce you to pause this video right now if you're inside of sales and figure out your number. Don't let your mentor or your coach tell you your number. You got a different number. Figure it out. As you work your numbers right now, figure out your average. So figure out your number 1. Okay, so number 1, you work your numbers. You master your numbers. You go hard on your numbers, right? You work your numbers every single day and you focus on this thing because it's the only thing that you can control right now inside of business is getting a grip on the numbers. Then every single day, you work your numbers. If you train in the morning and you train at nighttime inside of sales, step number 2, your skills increase. Your skills increase. So as you work your number, you go into stage number 2, your experience and your skills increase. Now, some people, they never do sales training, which is ridiculous. So they're like, I got 20 years of, sales experience. No, you might have 1 year of experience repeated for 20 freaking years. Some people don't train every single day. I still train sales every single week. So here's the deal. Your skills go up if you train every single day, right? And if you don't train every single day, your skills might go up naturally, looking at people, being consciously aware of the objections. It's not going to increase by a lot, but you'll naturally get a little bit better every single week. So as your skills go up, as you train every single day, hopefully, training is not something you did, training is something you do. Because if training is something you did and it's not something you do, making money is something you did and it's not something you do every single freaking day. Let me say that again. It's something you do. It's not something you did. Oh, I did that Daniel G training. You did it. You mean you don't do it every single week? You don't do it every single day? I can probably see a reflection inside of your paycheck. So skills, number 2, you just get better at talking to people. What that means is this. If you're inside of a job and somebody says, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Within the second week, you could deal with that a little bit better so your book meeting rate goes up. You go into stage number 3, which is called momentum. I want you to write this down. Momentum, stage number 3. What momentum feels like is when things get freaking stress-free inside of business. Things get a little bit easier. That's momentum. When people say we're in momentum, well, what does that look like? Momentum is stage number 3. It's a feeling when things get a little bit easier. The checks start to come in. The yeses start to come in. The input starts to come in. So momentum is when the yeses start to pour in. Instead of contacting 100 people to get one yes, now all you got to do is contact 25 people to get one yes. Everybody's been there, especially if you've been in sales for over a year. You've had some sort of momentum. Now, here's the problem. The moment people start contacting a lot of people, people's skills go up, their momentum and their output, from their output, their input starts to come in. The moment the momentum rises, their input freaking drops and their numbers freaking drop. Can I say that again? Most people, the moment the sign comes in that it actually freaking worked, their output goes down and their freaking numbers drop. So they never hit this hidden stage of stage number 4. They'll always constantly stay in stage number 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And that, by the way, that gets exhausting because a lot of people say, well, how do I get back inside of momentum? The question is, why did you take your foot off the pedal? Why did you get out of momentum? Because if you keep repeating this cycle, this is where you unlock stage number 4. Here's the secret in this video. You unlock stage number 4. You work your numbers, you get a little bit better. You get a little bit better, the yeses start to come in. The moment the yeses start to come in, the money starts going up. Instead of like every freaking broke person inside of sales seeing money as just a dollar amount, you see money as a sign. You see money that, damn, whatever I did in stage 1 actually worked out. Let me go repeat it. See, broke people see money as a sign. Broke people see money just as a paycheck and something they can spend. Rich people see money as a sign, where whatever they did inside of stage 1 actually worked out. They said, wait, if my momentum's going up, why don't I double down the numbers? I double down the skill set, I double down momentum. I double down the numbers, I double down the skill set, I double down momentum. Momentum, the moment you reach momentum, it has to be compounded. It has to be compounded. When you start compounding momentum, what starts to happen is this. You hit a stage one day inside of your business. Don't know when it happens. You keep compounding momentum. You keep working your numbers. You double down your numbers. You double down the studying. You double down the momentum. And then you do it again. Wow, 60 days, I got a momentum. Let me go back to the basics again. You go back to the basics. You double down the momentum, double down the numbers, double down the skills, get back in momentum. Every single time things get easier, you double down the numbers. You unlock stage number 4. Stage number 4 is the exponential phase. That's where business isn't fair anymore. You wake up one morning, $62,000 check is waiting in your bank account, sitting there. Boom, cashed in. Just deposited right there, $62,000 for last week's work. Not last month's, last week's. You call on your company, you say, hey, I think you guys made a mistake. No, that's your paycheck. Really? Let me go check this thing out. You're checking your back office. Shit, those are my actual numbers this week. Why? Because you compounded 1, 2, and 3. It's exponential now. You can't slow this thing down. It's a train going at 400 miles per hour, which basically means this point inside of sales, you're now freaking overpaid. Why? Because you compounded momentum so many times that you got into the exponential phase inside of business where your business was growing like this, and now boom, it's hockey stick effect. Hockey stick effect is where nobody can catch up to anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore. To the outer society, to your industry, and to your team, they say, how did that person get to where they are? Well, see, what happened was this. Most people, 90% of people will work their numbers, okay? Another 3% of people will actually focus every single day on increasing their skills. So we're at like 93%, right? There would be another, I would say about 5 to 6% of people that experience that momentum feeling inside of sales. Shit's good. Because they did this, they did that, now they're in momentum. 1% of people compound this. When we talk about the 1% of sales individuals, the moment they get good, they go back to the basics, they increase the numbers, they increase the skill sets. 1% of people will experience what's something called exponential income inside of sales. It's when you can't stop, when the skills are so good, the numbers are so good, you're closing 1 in every 2 people, you're at a 70, 80, 90% closing rate. People are looking like, what did that person do? See, when most people, that 5 to 6% of people actually got a momentum, they went to Bali, they went to Dubai, they went to the Maldives, They kicked it back. They said, well, things are doing good. And guess what they had to do? They had to get back in the game. When you just stayed in the game and you kept compounding it, one time it becomes exponential. And everybody looks and says, what's that person doing? It's unfair. Exactly. The moment, see what I'm doing for you guys is the moment you get good, you go back to doubling down on the numbers. You go back to doubling down on the skill sets. Eventually you hit a stage, which is your quantum freaking leap inside of business. Boom! One day you wake up and there's an explosion inside of your business. And you're going to remember this video right now because you're going to say, I remember when Daniel said, if I compound the momentum, there's going to be one day that I wake up, I'm going to hit stage 4 and things aren't going to make sense anymore to everybody else. It might not even make sense for you right in that moment. But I want to let you know the goal of business is to hit that exponential phase, that hockey stick phase where you get into that quantum leap where nobody can catch up to it. You have an unfair advantage because you compounded momentum month after month, year after freaking year. When you could have taken it back a little bit, you kept freaking doing it. Now, there's a point inside of your business when it's exponential where you can leave your business and your business still grows without you. Whatever that looks like inside a business, you are solving for exponential and that quantum leap of income and stage inside of your business. I want you to watch this one more time. To summarize this, you're going to get inside a business. You're going to work your numbers. You work your numbers and you study, you get a little bit better. You get a little bit better and you work your numbers, your momentum starts to go up. Your yeses start to increase. So what you did, what most people did, okay, in $100, they can do in less amount of time and still get the same results. The problem is the moment people get better, their freaking output goes down. Their output goes down. So like all that work that they did, boom, their numbers start to drop. When in reality, the moment you get better, you should say, it's a sign where I should double down. My skill sets go up. I get a momentum. I compound that enough times. How many cycles? I don't know. Every time you've identified you got better and things are starting to feel easier, double down the basics. It could be 3 cycles of momentum. It could be 5 cycles. It could be 10. But you want to get to that point where it's completely unfair. You place yourself in the top 1%, not even inside of your organization, inside of your industry. That's when you know you're in exponential income. You rise to the top 1% by compounding these 4 stages. YouTube, I'll see you soon. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. I'll see you soon, YouTube.